new coil. So this one is a reasonable amount longer than the old one. This is the old one here, and you can see that it's a bit taller, but it has far fewer turns. I think one of the problems I had with this one is that it was 742 turns, and with 3 on the primary, that meant that there was technically around 5.5 million volts potentially available, and I think that's probably why it was breaking out all over the show as soon as I started to increase the gap a bit more. So this one only has 428 turns, and I'm planning on starting with a primary of probably 10 turns, which should give me pretty close to 1 million volts, which is what I'm after. And the coil itself is longer than 30 centimeters. It's closer to 40, so the voltage density shouldn't be enough to break over in between the arcs, hopefully, but I'm going to do the same trick and submerge it in transformer oil. So it's just setting there in the end cap. I've got, where are they? A couple of these which go onto the ends of these PVC pipes, and we'll fill it with transformer oil and see how it goes. Okay, so 1 million volt challenge continues. This is the previous transformer core I was using. It's a glass bottle because glass is a good insulator. I had drilled a small hole in the bottom here to feed the wire through, and then filled it back up with Araldite, which sealed pretty good, and it was working quite well until I put the gap out to about, I was just over 100 millimeters, so somewhere around 300,000 volts, and it started to arc both downwards and upwards, so it was going up under the cap here and making some quite pretty patterns on the outside, and that also was going back down into here, and I think it either heated this wire up enough or actually arced through it that it broke the seal and started leaking transformer oil out all over the show, which is just lovely, and I've just touched it and now I have transformer oil on my fingers. Lovely. Okay, so this is the new coil, and it's obviously inside there. This is just sealed with PVC cement, and then I've done the same trick, drilling a hole in the end and putting the wire through and Aralditing it up. I've got this valve kind of arrangement on here because I needed to basically completely fill it with no air gap, so I ended up standing it on end with this end at the top and filling it until it came out of the top of this little tube, because if it had an air gap laying on its side, the gap would be in the top here all along there, and I imagine I'd probably get breakout in this point. So it's all sitting like that, it's all sealed up and nice. So for the driver, what we've got is good old Variac going into neon sign transformer, which is sitting on top of another neon sign transformer because my capacitor is too tall and the leads were too short. So yep, there's the capacitor. This is good for about 60,000 volts, and that goes into the primary over there, and then I've got just a plain old spark gap here which is triggered by my faithful friend. I can't run it for very long, but as you can see it can quite happily jump that gap. I think I just need to make a better spark gap now.